Hello there. Welcome to Living on Purpose. My name is Fola Adelesi, also known as Fola Daniel Speaks. Today, I want to tell you, worrying wastes your future. Worrying wastes your future. I see too many people who waste their future just by worrying. For example, what are you worrying about? If you're worrying too much about something, it could be that there's nothing you can do about it, or there's just something you can do about it, but you're yet to take that action. And rather than taking that action, you're simply worrying. If you don't go away from worrying to taking actions, you will continue to worry. Let's say, for example, you need to raise 100,000 naira. If all you do is worry about it, you will worry and worry and worry and worry. 10 minutes later, you still have no idea how you're going to raise 100,000. 10 hours later, you still have no idea how you're going to raise 100,000. 2 weeks later, you still have no idea how you're going to raise 100,000. But if you come up with a plan, at least that takes you away from worrying. You may not have the results that you want, maybe because some of the people you're going to talk to may not have the money to, but somehow you have at least come up with a plan and you have taken an action. Rather than spending all the time worrying, please be reminded that worrying wastes the future. Worrying wastes your time. Worrying wastes your life. So what you should do is to either move away from worrying to planning, or move away from worrying to take an action. And until you take that action that is desired and all you continue to do is worrying, you will never get any result. The worrying that you're doing right now will not change anything. You worry about a situation, 20 minutes later, the situation remains the same. 30 minutes later, you worry, your worrying hasn't changed anything. So why continue to worry? It is actions, planning, and talking to other people or communication that changes things. So the next time you're tempted to worry, the first thing you should ask yourself is, who should I be talking to? Who can I be asking questions from? Who will help me out of this situation? What actions can I take? What plans can I take? If you don't think about it in that light, you just realize that you spend so much time worrying and you still haven't gotten any result. Sometimes we worry because we don't use this thing. Yes, that's why we worry sometimes. I know that it's difficult. I know that when situations come up, most of us find it easier to worry than to plan. Most of us find it easier to worry than to come up with an action. That's why we quickly start worrying, and before you know it, worrying makes you panic as well. So when you panic, by the time you are now ready to take the right decisions, you start taking all the wrong decisions. Because when you should go from worry to planning and actions, you went from worry to panic. Go from worrying to planning, not from worrying to panic. If you go from worrying to panic, you will take the wrong decisions. But if you go from worrying to planning, you will take the right decisions, and then you will take the right steps as well. So I want to ask you to reduce your worrying, minimize your worrying. For example, one of the funny things that we also see in the Bible is that the Bible says, for example, who amongst you increases your height or adds just one hair to your head by worrying? It tells you that worrying does not add to your height. Worrying does not, if you're worried because you think you're overweight, worrying does not reduce it. If you're worrying because you think that you don't have weight at all, you want to add weight, worrying does not reduce it. What do? You come up with a diet. You come up with a plan. You want to shed weight? You come up with an action plan. Going to the gym. If you're worrying you don't have a car, worrying does not produce. I've never seen a factory that is named worrying, and that worry is what produces a car. No. You come up with a plan. If you're worried you don't have something, maybe you don't have an education, you don't worry yourself into education. You don't worry yourself into a university. You don't worry yourself to graduate from a university. No, you plan, you make actions, you go along with the plan. If you have to deny yourself of certain things, then you follow through with those denials so that you can get your desired result. It is not worry that produces actions and results that we want. Instead, worry gets in the way of those right actions that we should take. Worrying gets in the way of the proper decisions that we should take. And worry does not allow us to think right, to think straight, Worrying helps us to panic rather than doing the right thing. So I want to beseech you, don't actually spend all your time worrying, because worrying wastes your future. Don't spend your time worrying, because worrying will take away from the time that you have left. Rather than spend time worrying, spend time planning. Rather than spend time worrying, spend time thinking, what do I do? Who should I talk to? How do I get this thing done? What exactly can I begin with, or where do I even start from? Now that's different from worrying. So if you're worrying, you're just pacing about in a room and thinking, oh, I have a problem. Oh, I have a problem. Oh, there's this issue. Oh, this issue. No, 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 no. That's not how to think about it. So don't worry. I'm sure that if you do not worry, you'll be able to come up with an action plan. Thank you once again. Please head on to www.foladaniel.com, or you check out youtube.com/Fola Daniel Speaks. Thank you.